So good morning. Good morning. Hi,
Good
Valerie.
morning. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Good, good. Back in Florida. I spent the week, well, not the week, but I spent 4 days in North Carolina this past week. It was fun.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah.
good
Just
stuff.
just a jet setter spreading veteran entrepreneurship, fairy dust everywhere, right?
Yeah. I met some amazing people. We did a Bunker Connect in Charlotte, a Bunker Connect in Raleigh. I attended the Military MilCon um, conference. It was the first year and it was an amazing turnout. So yeah, it was all good stuff.
Cool. You were a speaker at the Milcom, right?
Yeah. Just talking about entrepreneurship resources. So hopefully we'll have lots of applicants for our next session or next big push for applications.
Awesome. Awesome. Was it a panel discussion or were you up there on your own?
I was up there on my own.
Wow. So, and anybody that knows Valerie knows you don't give her a microphone and expect there to be a time limit. Did they have to get the hook to pull you off this stage?
Yeah, well, no, I did keep it to 45 minutes. But yeah, I do like to capture the audience.
Yes, you do, but you do it so well, and
Oh,
people
thank
love
you.
it, so it's okay. It's okay.
Well, thank you very much.
So I did a little traveling last week too. I was in Miami for the Mogul Maker Conference that was a partnership between Miami-Dade government and in the office of the mayor and the library system in Miami-Dade. And let me tell you, it was held at Westchester Regional Library. And if you've ever heard me talk, you know that I am such an advocate of the library system because there are so many great business resources that nobody knows about. And I'm only familiar with them because of what Hillsborough County has. I mean, they were rated the top hospital or the top hospital, the top library system in the country a couple of years ago, I think right before the pandemic. And their business service department is just incredible because you can, with the free library card, you can access all kinds of reference materials to help you understand your demographics or find them or get partners that you need for your business or research your industry. But they also have all these great business tools in Hillsborough that they've got green screens, and so you can shoot your own commercials there, and they've got podcaster booths, and you can arrange to meet somebody, a client or a partner or an investor, or whatever you can meet there. I've done that a couple of times actually, because it was such a convenient thing for me to pick a library to meet somebody that was closer to where they were, but not making me go all the way into where they were. And what I was so happy to find out was that the Miami-Dade library system has the very same services available. So if you're in the South Florida area and you're in the county, go get your library card because all those services are free. And do you remember when we went our first Q&A recruiting session was at the West Kendall Library?
Mm-hmm.
They have co-working space there for businesses.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. And we were right there. We were kind of, well, it doesn't matter what we were, but yeah, it's really, really fabulous. So the library and the mayor's office put this together, and it was, I think, about 6 hours of the day. There was kind of a little expo where there were a bunch of us that had organizations that could help entrepreneurs. And then they had scheduled speakers throughout the day to talk about various aspects of running your business. And so I want to share some of those, if everybody will bear with me, I want to share some of those with you because it was really fabulous. So some of these don't even apply if you're just in South Florida, which is why I want to share them. The people that were sitting right next to me were Alan and Francie, and they're from Miami Bayside Foundation, and they provide financing solutions. And they, were always forever asked, where can I find money? Well, there's not an easy answer to that question. And more often than not, there isn't money for brand new startups. But what I liked about these people at Miami Bayside, and Alan and Francie in particular, is that they were very I don't want to say informational. You know, as I listened to them speak to people who came up and asked that question, how can I get money to start my business? Their questioning was really focused and helped the person asking that question understand that a lot of what is available to you is predicated on your personal credit, what kind of experience or expertise you have in your business that makes you a lesser risk for lending money to, how long you've been working on this idea, if you have a business model. That was really an important distinction, because so many people throughout the day talked about creating a business plan and neglect the idea that, or don't even understand the idea that a business model really is as important, if not more important, when you're starting than definitely more important when you're starting than a business plan. So they were really cool. And I'm going to put their link to all of these in the chat. I'm going through my business cards today. It's so funny. Didn't get home until about 11 o'clock Friday night. And then Saturday I had class. Sunday I kind of just vegged. And so I thought, well, I'll get these cards out and I'll start writing back to people today. Everybody has the same idea, because this morning my mailbox is ping, 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 and it's all South Florida people. Miami-Dade County had a representative there to talk about supplier diversity. And Steve Wheeler and I are going to be doing a supplier diversity and certification workshop in June. And you'll hear more about that later. But she was there to talk about how Miami-Dade County has earmarked certain percentages of their supplier contracts have to go to diverse businesses that are certified either as a small business enterprise, a minority business enterprise, a women business enterprise, a veteran business. So all of these things that they're actively looking for vendors who can fulfill the needs of the county. And she used the things in the library as a prime example, that the library system relies on Miami-Dade County to provide the bookshelves and the cleaning services and the parking lot maintenance and the in some cases book purveyors go out and get different books for people. There are so many opportunities in the county, and Miami-Dade is huge, just huge. I don't know how it compares to Hillsborough. I think they're probably comparable because Hillsborough is just massive. But oh my gosh, if you don't have your certification and you're not thinking about, government contracting, in my opinion, kind of gets a bad rap, because people think that they can only go into that the only reason they get a certification is to be a government contractor. And that means some kind of a high tech programming, cybersecurity kind of thing. And they never really consider the fact that every one of those government organizations from the local level on up, as well as big corporations, utilize vendors instead of employees for a lot of the things that they need. And so getting that certification isn't just because you have a cybersecurity business and you want to go into government contracting. It's for all kinds of supplier diversity. And that's what Jeannie from Miami-Dade County talked about. So, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute, because she's got some workshops coming up.
Cool.
You can tell this was really a great conference, right? Yeah. I met a young lady named Stephanie, and she calls herself a career fulfillment catalyst and employee happiness consultant. What a great title for a job, isn't it? Employee happiness consultant. Who doesn't want that? I can think of several businesses that absolutely need this. She does a great job of helping you assess and align your skills for careers or for business aptitude. Now, when we first started Action Zone, we were delivering a 3-day entrepreneurial mindset workshop, which will come back, I'm sure. An entrepreneurial mindset isn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a business owner. It doesn't mean you're going to in an entrepreneur in that sense. But what she does is so closely aligned with that, so that once you understand that you want to start a business, this helps you. You know, those people, Valerie, would get to say, I want to start a business, I just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stephanie's the one to solve that problem for you, or at least open the gates so that you can start exploring things. And boy, what a nice girl she was. I sounded like my mother when I said that. In fact, this morning I look a little bit more like my mother. You like my new glasses?
I noticed them.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
could you not, right? Because they're just obnoxious. I feel like Elton John.
Oh,
You know,
they're
when
not.
you and you know this, well, in part because they're so big, in part because I think I have 47 pairs of glasses that are all over the place. And I grab whatever's closest to the computer when I have to get on Zoom. And this was the most expensive airport purchase for something I forgot at home,
Oh,
because I got to the airport and realized I didn't have my reading glasses, and I wouldn't even be able to look at my phone without my reading unless I held it all the way out here. So yeah, I'm sporting them as often as possible because they were expensive.
well, they don't look like Elton John. They look good.
Alex said that I'm in fashion now, so that's good.
Uh-huh.
Met a guy named Julio that works for the SBA in Miami-Dade. He's in the South Florida district office. Man, does this guy have his pulse on everything that's happening down there. It didn't matter what anybody asked him. He had a resource for them every single time. So I'm going to put his information in the chat as well, because if you're in that area and you're going to be moving your business into that area, great person to know, and also a really great guy. Susan Holtzman. We have met Susan on Zoom, you and I. She's part of the Healthy West Kendall Coalition of Businesses. She works for the mayor's office, and I have not met the mayor, Daniela Levine Cava. Let me tell you, there wasn't a person in that room, and there were maybe 100 or 130 of us there that had anything but wonderful things to say about Daniela Levine Cava, including Danilo, and I'll talk about Danilo in a minute. But Susan is responsible for older adult and special needs advance in the Division of Innovation and Performance. So
Another mouthful title.
Yes, I know, but listen to that. The Division of Innovation. The mayor's office has the Division of Innovation to help all of us business people in that area make a better business and thrive down in that area. And she specifically works with senior adults and special needs adults to get into those systems, to create businesses, not just all the other things that seniors and special needs people need, but specifically innovation. And I really enjoyed talking to her. I hope that we will get a chance to connect with her more. Oasis at Miami Gardens. I wish I could remember this young man's name, and he didn't give me his card, but Oasis is a co-working space, and it's one of those that is not just, oh, I didn't record. I knew I was going to forget. I always forget that. It's not one of those co-working spaces where you rent a room and you just go in, or you sit at a picnic table or a booth and do your work. This one is so interactive. They actively assist the members in finding the other members in the co-working space that fulfill the need that they have. And so there's a lot of collaboration in this one, and they hold a number of technical and operational workshops for business owners who hit that wall because they don't know a skill. And like Russ Barnes likes to say, if the ramp to knowledge is too long, you got to find somebody else to do it. And they facilitate those connections for their members. The guy that was representing Oasis, real sweet kid, and there's my mother again, real sweet kid, and very knowledgeable about resources in the area and helping his co-working members. And he's very much looking forward to working with Action Zone for our veterans that have businesses down in that area.
Awesome.
And last but not least, certainly not least, probably they were all special. You know me, I don't have favorites. But, Marie Gill was one that I just was really so happy to hear about and to read. Her business is called the Minority Business Development Agency Export Center. And she helps minority business enterprises. That's on her card, and she talked about that, but let me tell you, that woman helps everybody. She's been an institution down there for decades, and so she knows virtually everyone. God bless you.
Bless me.
She connects people to opportunities in that in that supplier diversity space, whether it's government contracting or corporate contracting. Because she's been around for so long and because she is so passionate about helping the smaller businesses and specifically the minority businesses get a foothold into these opportunities, you can just tell that she's like us. She is tireless. She is passionate, and she doesn't stop when a door closes. She just figures out how to open it or get around it. And I really liked her. And they have a podcast on Wednesdays that I'm going to invite you to, but it's for veteran businesses. So we'll definitely be working a lot with her. And so she's just wonderful. And I'll put their information in the chat as well. And that's all for the people. But I did want to tell everybody that this Thursday, if you're in Miami-Dade area, this Thursday, Commissioner Raquel Regalado, who is Miami-Dade County District 7, and the Miami-Dade Procurement Services, that Jeannie girl I told you about earlier that does for the county, is offering a workshop on all you need to know about doing business with Miami-Dade County. And I'll put the information in the chat. Hillsborough County offers this as well at the ECC on how to do business with Hillsborough County. And again, I don't mean to be harping on supplier diversity. So many of these were, a couple of these were about that, but it's an easy thing to register for these counties. And then when you can search what they're looking for and become one of their vendors. And it's a really lucrative revenue stream to do work for anybody. But when you've got a county contract and all of the things that they have to take care of, from soup to nuts, your business fits in there somewhere. So just do it. Just put those Nikes on and do it. Because it's just an untapped opportunity. So many people are not doing it, and they're not being able to fulfill their desire to give these contracts to these groups of business owners, because the business owners are not taking the initiative to go in there and get certified and look for them. I met a lot more really interesting people, a couple of real characters. As you imagine, in any time you go someplace, you're going to find one or two, and I seem to gravitate to them. I don't know why, but it was a great conference, and I learned an awful lot about what's going on in that area and how it can help entrepreneurs, very specifically how it can help veteran entrepreneurs, because a lot of these people that I spoke with and that I met don't have something special for veterans. And so meeting us and knowing that we work with the military connected market, they were very eager to help collaborate. So that's my spiel.
Awesome. You know, one thing I wanted to touch on, I mentioned that I went to the Military MilCon conference. That was first year conference put on by, and Lacey did an amazing job. But one of the reasons why I was very eager to attend that conference and speak at it is because it focused on the financial, like planning career industry for military entrepreneurs. And as you stated, and we've stated so many times on our In the Zone, is that you have to have your personal finances tight before you need business financing, because they are going to be looking at that. And we know over the years that is a topic that is very sensitive. You know, people don't want to talk about it. Very low attendance to workshops we've held in the past about it.
Yep.
So yeah, this military our Mil Money Con, helping that industry with, you know, not only as providers but also as entrepreneurs. I'm hoping that, you know, we can continue to support that conference and get entrepreneurs postured for that financing, because you got to be ready to receive it. You know, what are you going to do with it? You got to prove that you know how to handle money. And the way they look at how well you handle money is first your personal finances.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So, and it's not a topic that's going to just go away if you stick your head in the sand and ignore it. And one of the pieces of advice that I heard him, Alan, next to me giving to someone was, once you are in shape, even, and if you were in shape now, pursue business loans when you don't need them,
Yes.
and establish that good relationship with the lender before a crisis occurs. Because if you're only going to them in crisis, they have that you're just one in a line. And
Yeah.
so establishing, and when you need it is probably when you can't qualify to get it. So
Right.
work toward, this is using credit wisely. I wish Jasmine was here because she could talk about this at length, but using credit. Oh, and I met a young lady who's doing financial, and I'm connecting her. That was the best part about this. I'll tell you that in a minute. So anyway, using credit wisely is the way to start building better credit, as well as setting yourself up for that occasion where you might need it. And now you're in a position where you don't have to worry about whether you're going to qualify for it or not. You've established those relationships. Even if you end up not getting what you need from the lender you have a relationship with, you've established a pattern for your business that is so important. Your personal, when you're starting out, your personal is the foundation, but start building it for your business so that when you need it, it's there.
Yeah. Banker, lawyer, and CPA.
Yep. And there's two more
need-
there's two more that Russ gives. He's got, I think there's 5 professionals, and I can't remember them all. I think one of them is health. Is that
Yeah.
so important? And the 3 that you mentioned, and I'll never remember the last one.
Fitness, mental health, and fitness health, I think, are the other 2.
Yeah, from the runner in the group. So I also met some really great entrepreneurs there. Not all of them veterans, but people that I can connect with, people that we know that have either been through our program or that we've collaborated with or been to a workshop, or just somebody in the area. And that was really wonderful. There was a young lady that's doing financial education for children. So of course I thought of Jasmine Paul. There's another lady that I don't remember who I needed to refer her to. Just a lot of them. And then of course my Sharon story that I posted on Facebook and all the groups. Again, this woman had been in Tampa, had signed up for our website, but never really pursued any assistance from us. She's from South Florida, and that was 2 years ago. And then she walked into that room, and ours was the first table that was there. It was just such a magical experience to know that. And I did remember her name. I work with those lists of names on the website subscription list all the time. So I was familiar with her name, and it was just really heartwarming. She was so glad to know that that we were still around and that we were right there, and that she felt comforted every time she got one of our emails. And she's either approaching or in her 70s. And so she's still looking for that
to live the American dream.
Yep.
Be an entrepreneur. She doesn't look like she's approaching 70 in her picture, or in the picture you posted.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, amazing. Just to have the energy and the cognitive, what's the word I'm looking for?
This brain smarts.
Yeah, brain smart. Break it down. Brain smarts to, still think of solutions.
Yep.
And want to try to monetize on that. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it was really a special thing. And that was right at the beginning of the conference. So it kind of buoyed me for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But for a one-day event. Oh, and then let's talk about Danilo Vargas. He is apparently an institution down there as well. What a spark. We participated a couple of weeks ago on his Friday morning huddle, which is, he works in the mayor's office in innovation. His previous career was also in supporting entrepreneurs and small businesses. So he's, he's involved in this like the rest of us are. And boy, he's just such a dynamo, and he knows everybody, but when you talk to him, it's like you're the only person in the world that he's concerned about at that moment. And I saw that not only when I spoke to him, but when he would speak to other entrepreneurs throughout the day that were there. He's just such a cool person. And I'm looking forward to participating in his weekly huddles more regularly than just being that guest that one week. It was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's awesome. Yeah, we it's well, it's been our goal with Action Zone to move throughout the state of Florida and take over the world, as Rosie says often.
World domination
Yeah.
on the plate.
And now it's just fun to see the inside of another ecosystem and the similarities and even the differences, but
Mhm.
knowing that there is support no matter where you go in Florida. Yeah.
And knowing that there are very few, as we surmised when we first started Action Zone, that there are not very many that focus on veteran entrepreneurship in the military community. And what was surprising to me was how many of them that I met that are searching for those resources, because they recognize that just like women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses kind of perform better in their own, at least at the beginning, in their own little microcosm of society. They also, we had a conversation about this. While that is important, just as it is for the military community and women businesses and minority owned businesses, it's important that structure is good for starting, but we all understand that you can't stay in that bubble. So to have connections to organizations that focus on different niches within the overall industry, but then be able to connect the dots for all of them it was just really exciting. It just really was. I mean, there was just so many great aspects to being in a room full of other support organizations, all with the same goal. It was like going to the Kauffman Foundation conference before the pandemic, right? We're all there with the same passion, with all different focuses, but we all want to work together to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, don't leave your battles behind. I want to say good morning to Artesia. She's joining us, just finishing up our latest cohort. We're really proud of her. And Donnell John from Veterans Growing America has joined us today.
Yep.
I haven't seen him for a minute.
I know, except on Facebook. I see him on
because
Facebook
he's
all the
busy
time. He's
traveling,
prolific
doing his
Facebooker.
roadshow. Yeah, he's doing his roadshow. They were at Fort Hood, Texas last. So I got to look up the schedule and see where they're heading next.
Well, you mentioned that Artesia was in our last cohort that just completed on Saturday. That was such a great group. I was so proud of them. They pitched their business model on Saturday morning, which is kind of the culmination of what they do over the 8 weeks, is building that business model. And to see the growth from their very first class to the very last class. I won't tell you that I had a favorite, or if I had a favorite, who it might be. But I thought they all did such an excellent job of fleshing out their idea and really honing in based on where they started, where everybody was their customer, and where they got to, where they had a clear avatar for their customer in most cases. It's just always so great. I hope that they will continue. We always tell them, you're part of the Action Zone family now. And if you want to get rid of us, you have to go get a restraining order, and we won't talk about why. But it was just, it's hard to see them go. It's hard to see them go.
It is, but we got to push them out of the nest.
Yep. And then get them ready for whatever's next and keep them in the loop. We've got workshops coming up, and we'll be doing some more of those starting in the next quarter, so that we can keep people engaged. We always recommend that you get on that ECC business training calendar, because there are a lot of practical application workshops that will help you in your business, things that might be unique to your business or your industry, and which is why we don't talk about them. We're building your business model, not teaching you how to run your business. That's after you build your business model, you have a better idea how to run your business. So that's the purpose of that. But it was really tough to say goodbye. I hated it. I hated every single time.
Yeah. Well, we did some pre-pitching of the business model ahead of time. And I'm not going to say who said this, and I'm not going to mention the program, but he told me that Action Zone has been the best program he's been through. He's been through some very well-known national programs as well. And he said because Action Zone is really tactical and allowed him to work on his own business instead of just listening about, theories and strategies of entrepreneurship. So the programs that he's been in before are great programs. I know a lot of people have been there. But I think that what we do in Action Zone really complements some of those, like theoretic type courses
Mhm.
that they kind of get comfortable with jargon, and they can start visualizing being an entrepreneur. But
Mhm.
until they really start peeling back the onion and working on that business model through Action Zone is when they're like, holy shit, like this is like could be a real reality. So I'm really excited about
That's
watching
the
this
best
particular.
moments to watch too. You just know when they get it. You know
Yeah.
when they get it because their whole face just lights up. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can do this."
Yeah. It's like the light bulb,
Yep. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of people who have the desire to start a business are just overcome by the fear of taking that first step. And that's what's so great about programs like ours is that you have a safety feature built in. You don't have to launch. You can just go through the process and learn what the process is. And then at some point, usually between week 3 and 4, you're like, okay, I'm on it now. I can do this. I got this.
Mhm.
But even if you're not, I mean, we've had several people in the last few cohorts that were in to build a business model for a business they have no intention of starting until they transition out of the service, which could be
Yeah.
2 or 3 years. But by getting what they need to know now, they can start laying the foundation for what they have to prepare for. And that's just as rewarding for me as it is the ones that build and launch and start generating revenue, because I know that they're going to have a better chance of success having done what they've done than if they didn't do anything at all or they waited till the last minute, because now they can
Yeah.
really investigate things, really research and validate some things.
I know, it's so exciting. I can't wait well, we say this after every class, right? We always say at the beginning of the class, this is the best cohort ever. And at the end of the class, we say, we can't wait to continue to watch them build and grow.
And then it's the next cohort and we're all excited all over again.
I know. So exciting. Well, applications are still being accepted for our next 2 cohorts. One
Yep.
starts April 30th
Mhm.
and the other is May 17th.
Yep, one is a
April
Saturday
30th.
morning and the
Yeah.
other one, the May one is on Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Yeah. So get those applications in, and what's going on? I guess that's it for right now. Oh, you said you were going to mention some workshops that are coming up.
No, what I said was you'll learn more about those because we don't have any until the end of May and June, I don't think. So
Okay.
we'll promote those at a future date. But I can tell you the topics are legal structures and business registration. So if you have not been on Sunbiz and you're confused by what's on there, Russ Barnes does a great job of explaining what the legal structures are. And then I'll do a walkthrough of how to register your business on Sunbiz and get an EIN and some of the other topics that are other things, registrations that you need to do depending on your business. We always recommend that you talk to a CPA, and or an attorney to decide which of those business structures are best for you. There was a woman, one of the lawyers that presented on Friday, was talking about how it's all the rage to have an LLC. And boy, don't we know that. Everybody, so many people come in and go, I've already registered my LLC. Well, how did you know that was even the best for you?
Yeah.
So that's what we discuss in that one. And then Steve Wheeler, who is a cohort member from 2020, also an IT expert, Microsoft expert, and I think some cybersecurity as well. He is very well versed in supplier diversity in corporations. In fact, he's had contracts that he was able to secure because he investigated them, like at Microsoft and Amazon and American Express, and a lot of these big corporations that actually utilize local vendors and contractors for businesses for their things. So we'll be doing that one in June that talks about certification and supplier diversity.
All right. Well, we're really, we like when our cohort members come back and, share their expertise with our members. So that's great. Great.
Well, I hope if he hears this, and he sometimes checks in, Steve is like a bad penny that keeps turning up, but every time I get it, I just love looking at it and shining it up again. And we have some great conversations about his business and Action Zone, and I enjoy speaking to him. So I think he'll be a great co-presenter for that workshop, because he has so much knowledge and he has the same passion that we do to help other people.
Yeah, he's great. Great. All right, Battle. It's time to get.
Yeah, we droned on for a while today, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, we had a lot of good stuff to share.
Well, I hope everybody has a great week. It is the last full week of April. That means we are completing the second month of the second quarter. So if you're not doing what you want to be doing, what are you waiting on? Come on. I titled this week's episode Broken Record Alert, because this has been my thing since the beginning of January. What are you waiting for? Come on. Even if you don't launch at the end, start doing something, because you're going to get to the last week of the fourth quarter of 2022 and say, shit, I wasted all this time. And we don't want you to have those regrets. We'd rather you say, and besides, these classes are fun. Being involved with entrepreneurs is a blast. We all just bounce ideas and have solutions and share challenges, and you are not in this alone. So don't wait. Whether it's Action Zone or somebody else, get on the ball.
Get on the ball. And let me tell you, I've got two things to say. First, Artesia said that going through the Action Zone program gave her clarity. So that's awesome, because she is very entrepreneurial.
Yes, she is.
She always has ideas. So I'm glad that Action Zone helped her.
And she's a testament to the fact that when you wait 2 years, you don't get any further ahead, because we've been after Artesia for 2 or 3 years to get in the program, and she
get in the program so that we could help her. I know. And then our friend Daryl Hitch has, I'm trying to find it.
Entrepreneur Speaks on June 11th.
Yeah. Yes. He is starting a new way to highlight entrepreneurs, and his Entrepreneur Speaks. And I may or may not be involved in that.
I am speaking. So I'm going to be putting the link down. So, because I do want to tell my entrepreneurial story. So June 11th, I'll be sharing the link. It's a free event to attend. I think it's just going to be a gas. And I think that everybody should be there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And I love Rosie's entrepreneur story. So you guys need to come listen. For sure. So, okay. Those are the only two things. Now we got to go.
Yeah, we got shit to do.
Yeah, we got the world to conquer.
It's all Monday. Right. That's right. We got the world to conquer. Well, I hope everybody has a great week. Reach out to either one of us if you need something. If you know someone that needs the Action Zone program and wants to get into the next cohort, we're going to put the links in the chat, and all of the links that I presented from South Florida today. And by all means, if you have some that we haven't heard of, put them in the chat so that we can help share them.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.